So, TranZit is a horribly flawed map.
Yes, objectively, I do find TranZit to be an absolute dumpster fire.
Do not understand it, and I will never ever forget how much I hate this map for this one singular feature.
I absolutely hate TranZit. TranZit is probably the worst zombie map in all of Call of Duty Zombies by far.
So Black Ops 1 enter the moon, and at the end of the Easter egg, they blow up the entire planet. And 2 years later, when Black Ops 2 rolls around, how in any way is it going to continue the story and follow the map progression after they just went to space and killed zombies on the moon? So they take us back down to Earth, so the closest you get to a normal place in zombies, a retro-futuristic rural American town stuck in the aftermath of what you just did on the moon. This map is TranZit. It was an absolutely massive change in scale from the other zombies maps that have come before. Most of them are usually smaller and more densely packed facilities, but TranZit instead is one massive open town, which after the first door, mostly fully open to explore straight from the get-go. Just ride the bus and get going to any of the 5 stops around the map. Most of these stations are about the size of an average World at War Zombies map. Obviously, having all of these areas loaded at the same time is going to put a lot of stress on poor little Xbox 360. So they had a brilliant way of hiding the transitions between each area. And I'm sure it's so subtle you could probably still not notice it. You see that really dense, thick fog surrounding every location. You go in there, you can barely see 2 feet in front of you, giving the game time to load the next area. Then, as a stroke of sheer genius, they've got these mini zombies called denizens that jump on your head to slow you down. And then, to make it even better, all across the map they have these pits of lava that force you to go even slower and obstruct your view. The threesome of the fog blocking all your view, denizens bullying you, and the lava chipping you away all really encourage you to only travel the map using the bus, which only takes you to the 5 main locations along its route. You start at the bus station, naturally, then you go to the diner, then the farm, then power station, and lastly, town. Even though there's all of these things encouraging you to stay on the bus in safety and to get everywhere easily, there's also the 4 hidden locations hidden within the fog between these bus stops. There's a tunnel with the M16, the pylon and Nectar and Totem both hidden in the cornfields, and the cabin with the Bowie knife. In all of these hidden locations you find parts of TranZit's buildable wonder weapon, the first buildable wonder weapon in COD Zombies history, and this one's a really bad example for what was to come. What was one of the most hated wonder weapons in COD history until its redemption in Black Ops 6. For some reason, they decided if you use the jet gun for too long, it should just fall apart and break, even all the parts on the floor. But that's just the start of this gun's troubles. Maybe this wouldn't have been a problem if the buildable system on this map wasn't so awful. First of all, there are 9 total buildables on this map, for some reason including the pack-a-punch and the power switch. And all of these buildables have to be made at their own certain table spread across the map. But where this really gets annoying is the fact you can only carry 1 part at a time, and only 1 finished buildable at a time. So let's try and make the jet gun. First part is in the tunnel, so run and grab it from there. Then either ride the bus or run all the way to town, place the part on its crafting table in the bar.
What the hell was that? Please have a seat.
Next, it's time to run to the other end of the map, and the next part's on a tiny little ledge with an instant death pit in the power station. Now we'll run that all the way back to town as well. Then navigate through the cornfields to find Nectar and Tosin for the next part, and run that back into town. Then finally grab the pressure gauge out of the cabin, and there you go, all sorted. Infinite damage wonder weapon, and it only took you an hour. You'll probably notice that there's no footage of me using a jet gun, because this is ridiculously hard to make solo, only carrying one part at a time. I have to run through the fog, getting grabbed by denizens constantly and go into the lava. If you want to carry the jet gun, you can't use the turbine, which is probably the most important buildable ever in COD Zombies. You first need it to get out of the starting room and into this room, which is one of the many bus upgrade parts. There's 4 of these spread across the map, and you need them to reach certain areas of the map, and you need the turbine to open the doors for them. You also need the turbine to power 2 other buildables in the electric trap and also turret. But most importantly, you need the turbine to open Pack-a-Punch in the most annoying way possible. Drop a turbine at this door in the power station, and then get yourself over to town as soon as possible. Blow up the bank vault doors, and then you'll be confronted with this power door. Because the zombie's probably already broken the turbine you left at the power station. If you're lucky enough that your turbine isn't broken, the vault will open, and you can be let into this underground lab, where you can make a Pack-a-Punch machine. Now whatever you do, you cannot leave this room or the door will slam shut behind you, and you have to go all the way back to the power station to open the door again. This awful Pack-a-Punch and the amount of buildables and parts scattered everywhere make the map almost impossible to play solo. If you want to actually progress the map, you have to cross your fingers and hope you can survive the hike between every location. Basically every gun on the map, except the jet gun, is going to be used as parsec round 12. And Pack-a-Punch is just so hard to do solo, hoping that no zombies are going to touch the turbine while you're commuting. So you decide to make the jet gun, you have to travel the whole map 4 times just to make it. TranZit is still somehow annoying to play on co-op as well, just because the sheer size of the map. If you ever actually want to interact with another player, you have to be together at the same bus stop. But most of the bus stops are just not that big, or well, not big enough to have 3 or 4 players running around and training on a high round. The biggest bus stop on the map is town, and it's completely covered in lava, and it's the only bus stop on the map to have 0 wall weapons. So if you go there without bringing the box, you have 0 guns. Another innovation that came with TranZit was perma perks, which are a complete mess. All of the unlock criteria for these are completely hidden from the player, and the only notification you get when you've unlocked one is a tiny puff of green mist and a power up sound effect. And you have to just guess which one you've got, and before you know it, you've suddenly lost it again. There's 14 of these, and most of them are really glitchy and confusing, and you've probably never even heard of them. They really just feel underdeveloped and not finished. There was a big theory that floated around TranZit for all of Black Ops 2's life cycle. People thought there was still more to come from this map. There was still something hiding in that fog. From release, when people were still discovering more locations and secrets in the map, there was rumours of a second bus route. A bus route B that would take you to a bunch of different locations, starting from the Nectar and Totem hidden in the fog. Over time it was decided that it had something to do with the nav card Easter egg that connected the first 3 maps of Black Ops 2. The theory was that when you finish all the Easter eggs and put all the nav cards on the right tables, you'd unlock a second version of TranZit with a super Easter egg to link them all together. Obviously this never came to be, and the nav cards never really did anything, but unsurprisingly, Treyarch did have much bigger plans for TranZit. They planned a lot that just couldn't be done on the Xbox 360 and PS3. They wanted TranZit to have 2 different versions, one in the night similar to what we've got, and then another in the daytime with a different bus route and seemingly different locations like a motel and an asylum. This daytime version had to be cut for development times, and obviously with a nighttime version they could use low visibility from darkness and fog to hide their limitations. There's even pictures of an early version of Farm which has no fog or lava, showing these weren't things that they actually wanted to put in. There's also a lot of different game modes that got cut from TranZit submaps. They planned the power station to have its own survival map like Bus Depot, Town and Farm. This was presumably when it was planned to be this massive nuclear plant, rather than the small underground lab it is in the final game. In fact, every area of TranZit was supposed to have its own game mode, instead of just having grief and turns. There was 8 different game modes, different areas of the map, which would take too long to go over, so I'll just leave them here. More recently, earlier this year, through leaks it was discovered that there was even more cut stuff from TranZit. The bus was planned to be even more integral to the experience, with different upgrades like a turret and armour. You have to protect, repair and refuel the bus at certain times. And there was even a plan to have a boss fight with the Avogadro on it, rather than just have him randomly turn up in certain rounds. There were also plans that would make Farm less pointless by making you need to stop there to fill up on food and ammo, suggesting survival and ammo preservation were originally a much more important part of the map. And they even wanted to include a Dark Souls type of message system just for this map. To be honest, I think all of this shows that they've really just wanted to make TranZit the ultimate zombies experience, and move Black Ops Zombies away from just being the survival side mode of the game, and really flesh it into its own competitive mode. There's now plenty of mods on PC where they've tried to make what TranZit could have been, and to be honest, now that they aren't held back by the Xbox 360, I'd really like to see what the original developers would have done. TranZit was just really over ambitious. Treyarch wants to make so much but was shot down by short development cycles and having to work on the Xbox 360 and PS3 for the last time. They tried to make something even bigger than the maps they make now, 2 console generations later, way back in 2012. Eventually, we got what we got, TranZit, as a result of cutbacks and 2 weak consoles. If you like this video, it would be cool if you watch another one, or just like and subscribe. Cheers.